And boom. So wait, actually, I'm going to record this. Yeah, to the cloud is fine. Awesome. All right. So Brian, start us off with just walking through kind of how your business makes money.
Yeah, so I'm a marketing consultant, so I work with multiple clients. This one in particular is a supplement company, very niche. They are supplements for giant breed dogs, so Great Danes, Great Pyrenees, large, 100-pound plus dogs, which is again pretty charitable market. That the client they founded it when bought they adopted a Great Dane, then realized, oh shit, how do we actually take care of this dog? And they basically put all their effort into formulating one that was dosed properly for them. They started business about a year and a half ago. I took over the meta side of things about March. We've seen some steady progress. We went from like 3-4K a month in revenue. We're at consistently about 15K a month now in the last couple of months. LTV is looking solid. It's about 250 over the last 3 months. Over the 12-month period, it's in about $500. And yeah, the AOV is about 100, but 95% of the revenue is from subscription. The problem where we've sort of hit the wall the last 2 to 3 months, we had a really progressive growth up until like July, mid-August, and
Mm-hmm.
then everything sort of fell off a cliff no matter what I was doing. I've always kept to try a pretty simple structure, tried adding some testing. I said their budget is pretty low. They've asked me to lower budget the last 2 months or so just because CPA has gone up. Overall, CAC of new customers has gone up. Sorry, CAC of new customers stayed about the same, but their new customers acquired has basically tailed off the last 3 months. So we went from 40 or 50
Yeah,
new
less
customers.
spend at the same CAC, less new customers. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and yeah, so it's the math is mathing for me and trying to explain to, but also the platform CPAs, which I know, everyone knows it's always gonna be a bit of a grain of salt, but um trying to figure out where performance drop offs happen even before we drop budget as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I got a lot here, and that's great. First off, seems like a very healthy business.
Yeah.
Um, Let me give you three things to arm you in the conversation as a buyer for the business, and then let's get into the dashboard a little bit.
Yeah.
The first one, and by the way, we're working on some software that should be available very soon. We're testing it right now that'll help you give some of these answers. The first one that I want to know is how much of your revenue each month is coming from returning customers, and what's that transaction volume like? Because that blended CPA against the blended AOV is a great way of understanding where our profitability is coming from. And more importantly, that can redefine what the allowable CAC is.
Yeah. So last month it came from about 80% was returning customers on
Okay.
subscription. June, July, August, we're said more about that 50 to 60% was new revenue.
Sure.
We saw like a rapid growth in acquiring new customers. So far this month, it's been 95% new returning customers, which is again not red flags, but they're like just concerned because they're not acquiring new customers right now. Like not
Sure.
the same rate we were. So yeah,
All right, great. And that's one of the in our the software we're going to be building. That's one of the things that's really important is to
yeah,
understand that evolution, because ultimately what you're describing is the business is becoming more and more dependent on reoccurring revenue. However, that also means the blended CPA is coming down month over month over month. So the allowable cost per acquisition should be going up, which is a great argument to be introducing the idea of spending more rather than spending less, because it's not about
yeah,
are you profitable on day one. It's really about
yeah. To do
how, yeah, yeah, like
yeah,
if you're buying a cash flow cycle, if
yeah,
the average person buys 5 times and you can break even on number three,
yeah,
you're not spending enough. But obviously there's money in the bank you have to fund for all of that. The second thing that I'd like to talk about is or that we can't address here but would be great to arm you with, is understanding how much of the what the media mix is. And is it like, are you getting, is it 100% Facebook and Instagram? Is it like 80% here but then some on search? and really understanding what that ecosystem looks like. In the MBA program, we call it an ecosystem doc, tracking out all of the performance of each channel flowing into the next one.
Yeah.
But it also depends on what the business objectives are. It could be, and we'll get to that here in a minute, but really understanding that mix, because as you reduce the budget on Meta, it's almost assuredly going to dry up the email and search revenue that you're making, which makes
Yeah.
you even more dependent on reoccurring revenue, which means your allowable CAC, you are steering into the skid instead of fixing the problem. But it makes sense on paper because each channel works independently. But in reality, there's a big touch point of how everything works. And so I'd love to have that when you're talking with somebody.
Mm.
You, I would love for you to be able to point out, well, we went from 1,000 a day to 100 a day on Facebook or whatever.
Yeah.
This is what happened to the other channels.
Yeah.
These other channels produce more revenue. These other channels are more profitable. Every time you tell me to spend less, you're killing all of the more profitable stuff.
Yeah. And we've had that conversation, and they understand it to an extent, because we have seen. Again, I'm also trying to explain to them like attribution, like that's not always perfect, especially in a
Sure.
in a modern sort of environment. So it's like what we've seen, like our the organic and direct go up last month, even though our new customer acquisition. I've seen it with multiple clients, like where they've cut spend, like another client in Q3 cut spend 50% because of cash flow, and our new customers acquired dropped 40%. I'm like, well, there's the math. Like,
Yeah.
so I mean, so they get it. Like we have I'd say Doodle's about 25% of our spend. And then even that's dried up. Again, it's correlation. Like I'm doing
Yeah.
like some true correlation there of like, yeah, we're not doing as much top of funnel, and people are not searching us, or not when they see our ad in Doodle are not comparing us to the major brands.
Sure.
Um, so we've had those conversations as well, and it's just hard when they're again health as a business. Like their CAC has, they had we had a really steady growth up until July. Our CAC was at 52, and CAC of new customers, not just overall CAC. And starting in August, it shot up to about 74, and then it stayed about 70 since then. And like I said, what we're seeing is that customers we're acquiring are staying around better. Like they're staying longer. They're
Yeah.
repeating stay. They're maintaining their subscription. And so the quality is better. But it's just like constant back and forth of like, well, CPA is high, but revenue has stayed flat, even though CAC has stayed, like CAC of new customers stayed flat the last 3 months, even though we've seen an uptick, but it hasn't like continued drastically. But the platform has changed. And
Yeah.
it lined up with it as Andromeda rolled out and things like that. So I'm guessing that
Sure.
played a factor,
There's
but
there's a there's a lot that goes into it. Also, the summer inherently is a more expensive time. Supply and demand of just inventory on the platform. Every year, summer gets more expensive.
yeah,
The amount of people where something breaks in July is basically 90% and has been for over a decade. So
yeah,
that is very much to be expected. And so got it. There's a lot of really good information here. And the reason that all really matters is also what I would love to know and begin to arm you with at the last touch point is to say, um, if the revenue floor, if the money you're making each month from returning customers continues to go up, can we begin to look at the allowable ad spend as a percentage of that?
yeah.
And a
No,
way to say what we want to do is acquire more customers than we churn. So if we get 10 new customers a week, but only seven stop buying, we're going to continue to grow that flywheel of the acquisition of new growth. Does that make sense?
yeah, yeah. And so yeah, and they're very open, and then they're one of the given the conversation, they're one of the better clients. They know they want to scale, and they're willing to scale proportionately. I think just where they're at right now, they're also getting ready to launch a new SKU in the new year. That's
Got
just
it.
kept getting delayed and delayed. So they have like their supplement is like a tablet or crushable tablet, and what they're
Mm-hmm.
seeing in their churn reports, or like even like talking to customers, like their dog just won't eat it. The new
Got it.
product come out as a gravy topper, so it's going
Oh,
to
that might
be,
work.
and they've already customers already said who've churned and said they'll come back,
Yeah.
without question. But again, it's just they're still a young brand. They're first time founders. It's
Yeah.
understanding, to
Yeah,
the
all of
point.
the so what I'm hearing is they're really open to feedback and you're
Yeah,
probably communicating better than I think a lot of folks are and you've got people that are willing to listen better than a lot of folks do. So Brian, you're in a good spot. I like that.
yeah,
So maybe let's dive into the dashboard.
yeah,
Now, as far as columns are concerned, I'd love to set this up in a 4PI to take a look at that, and
yeah,
then have a couple of questions just on some data you might be looking at. So
yeah,
can we set up our columns just to kind of show that 4PI up front, maybe customize,
yeah.
and we'll do a 4PI plus two depending on what you got. So maybe it would be great if you could just go to the right where it says 36 columns selected and just hit X on every one of those things. Just get rid of all of this stuff. Clear
Yeah.
the deck. Yeah, just pop, 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 and then at some point it'll bump out a little bit, which is really annoying. Okay, cool. So let's do amount spent.
Yeah.
You can also just type it in the top, and it's a quick way of finding things. Then let's do frequency. So where does the machine want to spend? Frequency is who's seeing those ads. CPM is what is the quality of their experience. For you, because you're really focusing on new customers as well, type in the number one, and we're going to get the cost per 1,000 account centers. Yep. Boom, got it. And let's also then get the cost per purchase. So just type in purchase and it'll come in. And then if you see at the bottom, purchases, total, value, cost. Let's get the cost. I don't care about the total or the value, but
Yeah.
cost, I do care. And then for this, let's also get the average purchases conversion value. So the AOV, which is third thing at the top for your key metrics, right there. Now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you have a new customer as a conversion item?
I don't know.
Okay. So a little bit of homework for you, Brian, I might suggest. Now there are multiple ways of doing this. You can hack it together with Zapier, or you can do it through some third-party tools. We always recommend Aimers if you're on Shopify, or if they're too expensive, I recommend Popsicle. If you tell them I sent you, they immediately know the 5 things I'm going to ask for, so they're very, very good. The onboarding process is pretty simple because I send them business every single day, and they know exactly what I want. So you're gonna be like guy 50 in the row, just like okay, it's the onboarding process from Disruptor School, got it. The last thing that I want here is let's go to custom.
Yeah.
The custom, so you see it says key metrics tracking, yeah, custom. Let's create a custom metric.
Yeah.
And what I want to make is GPT. So in the combined metrics in the formula, so right below that, the little box above that one, yeah, type in GPT. There is going to be average. You just type in AV. There you go. Average purchase conversion value. Awesome. Click that. And then minus, just type in purchase, and then it'll cycle through all the things. You want cost per purchase, which is usually like the sixth or seventh thing on the list.
Yeah.
Boom. There you go. By the way, it's a lot faster to do purchase than cost per. If you do cost per, you have to scroll. Apparently, in their infinite wisdom, cost per purchase is like the 837th cost, even though it's probably the most commonly clicked on button. I don't know why they do that. It's super annoying. It's not even in alphabetical order. I have no idea why. But anyway, just for what it's worth, that's a much faster way of doing it. Let's go ahead and name this GPT. So this is gross profit per transaction. And this is going to be really interesting for us to understand. So GPT, yep. And then format, let's make this currency. Boom, love it. And you can make this accessible to you or to anybody, whatever you want. Um, yeah, it's up to you. And then, yeah, so let's go ahead and create metric. Awesome. And then let's click that in there. All right, now they've shuffled the deck here a little bit, which is also really fun. So let's put amount spent first.
Yeah.
And then frequency, CPM, got it. Let's put cost per purchase after the above the AOV. Love it. That's great. One other question I have before we go: Are you sell subscriptions? Do you track subscriptions as a conversion event,
No, we just said track as a individual
as an
purchase.
individual
Yeah,
purchase?
it's
Okay.
true recharge. Yeah.
I would highly recommend homework again.
Yeah.
Get the subscription event. Yeah, go ahead and hit apply. Get the subscription event tracked. So when somebody buys, some purchases are also subscriptions.
Yeah.
I also highly recommend that you do that as a browser event.
Yeah.
You will have some folks, like if you go to Amers or anybody selling server-side events, what will happen is every time Recharge fires, it's going to fire a subscription event. But what you really only care about is how often do I sell the subscription, not how often does it rebill. Does that
Yeah,
make
yeah,
sense?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
So on a server side, every recharge hit is going to be an additional subscription event. When it's a browser side, somebody has to have their browser open and hit that thing to occur. So a in the background operational subscription event just firing again, you won't get these like it won't fire the pixel. Does that make sense? Which
Yeah,
means that ads that randomly get shown to somebody within a 7-day window or a 1-day window or whatever of that subscription event getting fired won't take credit for a transaction that required no effort.
yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yep. No, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Awesome. And the server side stuff, if you have it, the machine will still see the people that are getting billed, but you don't need to
Yeah,
tell the machine that that means an ad did a good job because somebody didn't cancel.
yeah,
Not great. Okay, great. So with this, what I would love to do is can we go last 30 days breakdown by week? This will give
yeah.
us a
So
historic record of what's going on in the business.
yeah, so I actually just I relaunched this. Basically, this is the campaign I was really struggling. It was like
Cool.
frequency was getting super high. Everyone was
All right.
performing. But I can break down by week.
Yeah, let's break down by week. And then let's also just select those two campaigns.
Yeah.
Had delivery will be also fine. There you go. Cool. Awesome. That'll work. So the reason for this is we can get a bit of a historic record of what's going on. Also, when you do the last 30 days breakdown by week, the top line item is always something we're okay with kind of throwing out because it's never a complete data set.
Yeah.
So what we're trying to understand here is what is the cost? How are things changing? What's going on? Now,
Yeah.
if we look, first place I look is CPM. So it looks like you went from 22 to 25, 35, you're moving into the higher 30s, lower 40s. So it is getting more expensive to show your ad to people.
Yeah.
Now to me, that generally is a sign that the content is not as engaging. So it's a quality of user experience problem more than anything else.
Yeah.
Now, that also is not necessarily the quality of your content, but the quality of the experience that the machine decides, of who the machine decides to show your content to.
Yeah.
So there could be some very mixed signals between who is responding well to the business and who the ads speak to. And for
Yeah.
me, this is a big alignment issue potentially between the ads speaking to the folks who have the best experience on the in the business and that to me makes a lot of sense if people are subscribing, but they're not getting billed again and it's not tracking, or they are, but it's not tracking those things. You're
Yeah.
having a whole bunch of people that are really interested in what's going on, but then never go back to the website because they're just on the subscription event. So we're
Yeah.
not feeding the machine back the information that these people are getting billed on a regular basis. They're really happy with the business. So there's an issue with the machine really understanding who those highest quality customers are. So it's scrambling to find more and more people. And we can see that to a greater extent too at the cost per 1,000 account centers, which is essentially the unique CPM. How much does it cost to reach every individual person? It
Yeah.
seemed like the ABO was getting a little bit better and now it's getting a little bit worse, but it might be recovering. But let's keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
That, by the way, is just frequency times CPM, if you want to do the math and be fun with it. Um, but there's something interesting going on there. It seems like the machine is trying to figure that out. But again, the top line item we can kind of throw it out because the spend isn't high, so the frequency is less, so therefore the cost per 1,000 account centers isn't going to be as high.
Yeah.
Now, the two things that really stand out to me when we look at this, first, is the AOV is dramatically different between the two.
Yeah.
Which tells me that these are probably different offers. Is that the case?
No, it's so we have two offers, but we've never changed what we put out there. So you land in the PDP, it's one-time purchase is $99 and subscription is 79. And then we have a 3-month offer, like a 3-month supply offer.
Got it.
That's 220 on subscription as
Mm,
well. So and
got
what
it.
it's
So
obviously we're capturing when I was going through the individual orders, we're catching more people the last couple of weeks that are buying two. So they have
yeah,
two, yeah.
got it. So then the other bit of homework I have for you, and you can do this again by yourself
Yeah.
or with a third party tool like Popsicle or Amers.
Yeah.
Um, I want to know what are people buying,
Yeah.
and really specifically, of all of the transactions, how many are the one sale? So the one
But
bag, the 99. I want to know that at the ad level by day.
yeah,
So if I have a custom conversion event designed for the purchase of the one bag, I'm
yeah.
going to see how many of the people do that. Now, based on what you're telling me, the meta sales broad ABO was essentially 100% of people buying the one bag subscription. But the new campaign is getting a lot of people potentially to, we don't know the mix, but getting some folks to buy the 3 months. Some folks are getting the sub. Some people aren't getting the
So
sub.
so this one, the people are buying the sub because it's
Yep.
79.99 is the subscription price.
Yeah, but in the new campaign, it's much higher because some of those
Yeah,
people are getting the 3 month. The
yeah.
thing is, when we get down to the ad level, I want to know, well, if I can manufacture 150, 160 AOV because people are buying that 3 month,
Yeah,
what ads are doing that versus the other?
yeah,
You might have one ad where 90% of the sales are getting the 1 month on a sub, and another ad where people are getting a 3 month with no sub.
yeah,
Well, now that's also a very specific choice that you're making as a business. Do I want to get the 1 month sub because it's super cheap and I
yeah,
just ramp up a ton of them to get the revenue floor? Or am I trying to get the 3 month on no sub because it's super profitable today? And then maybe by the end of that 3 months, they come back and get a subscription and we can kind of tack on a second offer and
yeah,
really just work on the customer flow to turn that higher value customer into somebody that, saves moving forward.
yeah.
So if we go into the ad level of the Meta Sales Advantage campaign, and let's get into the ad level. Yeah, here, what we're gonna find, you can get rid of that breakdown by week here real quick. What you'll find is that these ads are probably performing wildly different. Okay, yeah. So the Todd Advantage AOV is 216. The
Yeah,
Founder Rant AOV is 72.
yeah.
Now, obviously, it's not a lot of transactions here, but let's just extrapolate it out. I mean, it's 3 or 4 sales a piece, not a terrible data set.
And these were the top performing ads that have performed heavily for us throughout the last sort of 3, 4 months as well, when
Yeah.
it relaunched as well. But the same with the post ID. Yeah,
My point to this is those ads attract completely different customers.
yeah,
Every time you're launching the Founder Rant, you're buying a subscriber, a
right.
low value subscriber, and it's expensive.
Yeah,
The Todd Advantage, that might be 216 because they're taking the 3 month supply on no subscription.
yeah,
The point is, these are very different customers. What I want to be able to do moving forward is understand, are they buying the 1 month and are they subscribing? And I'm going to assume by that if they don't buy the 1 month, they're buying the three. And if they're like we can start to do some of the math.
yeah,
But then we can start to say, of all purchases, how many are 1 month? Of all purchases, how many are subs? And the real beauty of that is we could begin to do creative testing to see
what
what
you're
do we
at.
want to do
Yeah,
as a business. Now, from what you're telling me, you have no trouble with the cash flow of the business on the customer journey,
yeah,
but you have a problem with the cash flow of the business on today profit.
yeah,
So for me, and I would say this for any business in Q4, I would be pushing way more on the higher AOV side. Like every time you make a sale with the Founder Rant, you're losing $100.
yeah.
It doesn't mean you actually lose money, although you do. Your GPT
In
is
the short
negative
term,
buck
yeah, it's
14.
on the balance sheet every month. Yeah, we're losing that, but the LTV will pay in three
The
months.
LTV will pay off. The
Yeah,
problem is that LTV is not in the bank account today, which is
yeah,
why your ad spend continues to go down.
yeah,
I love the idea of you having a 2 month plan of just like pushing the high AOV stuff and then figuring out how to get those people to come onto a subscription and then also having a second campaign potentially focusing purely on getting subscribers.
that
But
makes sense.
right
So
now, you don't really have the money to support two campaigns. So if you don't
yeah,
have the money to support two campaigns, give me the transactions that are most profitable.
yeah, no, that makes sense. Would you separate? So right now, and show your PDP as well. So this is our PDP. Again, it's a standard like 1 month supply, 3 month supply, defaults to
Got it.
subscription. Would you recommend like separating these out into their own like their own landing pages, their own
You
PDP?
could. I think that's an interesting test, but right now, I'm far more interested in you understanding who the people are that are buying the
Yeah,
3 month supply
yeah,
and just doing all of my creative testing around all of my strategy around how do I get ads that appeal to that person?
Yeah.
Because the easiest way for you to make more money is to turn off the founder brand.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that's necessarily the best move. It's 186 out of 500. That's a like
Yeah.
near 40% impact on the business.
Yeah. No, and yeah, it is because we've had this running for about 14 days. I was looking at today. I was like, holy shit, the CPM has like skyrocketed the last few days. The plan was to turn it off, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, but again, having looking at the GPT, that it makes much more sense. Just this Todd ad has always performed well for us. It's an emotional ad. It hits people in the
Yeah.
feels, and we actually just got some UGC with his owner. That's just an
Oh, love
interview
that.
that our customer, our my client did, and just like and our video editors like chopped it up great. So, and then we're hitting those emotional feels with it of like,
Yeah.
how do you make your dog live longer? I mean, it's a perfect angle.
Of course.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
yeah,
So with all of this being said, Brian, I think where I'm coming from is also to tie it back, that
yeah,
founder rant is getting people who buy once and don't buy
yeah,
a lot and aren't interested in coming back because they're never coming back to your website. They're subscribed.
yeah.
That customer buys once and never engages with you again. That's not a
That's
great signal to the platform because they're tracking things that happen well after
Yeah, makes sense.
the transaction.
Yep, no, that makes
So,
sense. Yeah, as
yeah, you're
opposed to like,
teaching the machine with those to really kind of focus on the wrong person. And so I think it's fun to and maybe end this here, but my number one focus would be, can I expand on the Todd advantage? Now, for
yeah,
me, I like the idea of getting more creative around this. I would definitely take this video. It seems like it's a video. I might
yeah,
also try to grab some statics from it just to make it call back to the people that watched this video, finish that conversation.
yeah,
But the GPT alone says this ad is losing money. We're okay with that because of the LTV, but your client is telling you they're not willing to give you money based on LTV. So, in the interest of how do we spend more money today, you
yeah,
saying, hey guys, in 6 months we're going to be rolling in it. They're like, great, but 6 months isn't paying the bill today.
yeah,
So, we need to focus on today money until we have the luxury of focusing more on the long term money. And if we focus on the higher GPT, we'll make more money today. And then we can raise the budget to the point where we could begin to support a campaign that
yeah.
focuses on long money instead of short money.
That makes sense.
And for what it's worth, January Q1 is a great period to focus on long money. Q4
Yeah,
is a great period to focus on short money, just globally speaking.
yeah,
Um, AOVs are higher, and people in the beginning of the year are signing up for subscriptions and all sorts of other stuff. So it actually kind of lines up perfectly with what I would expect consumer behavior to do anyway.
yeah. That
So
makes sense.
yeah, man, I think that's gonna be that, Brian. Is that okay? We good?
Yeah, yeah. No, so summarize, just like clean up the tracking, focus on GPT, and then steadily scale from there. Just
Yeah.
so, yeah,
I love it. And you can go into the resources and tools section to get a link to those folks so that they know you're coming from me. I think you get a little bit of a discount or something like I think I get an affiliate, but like I don't take them, I don't need the $7 or whatever from each person. Like just pass the savings on you. You guys are paying me enough anyway. Let's just, make it work. Um, but yeah, Brian, I think we're good to go.
awesome,
Fantastic.
perfect,
And you're in a great place, Brian. I will say that. A lot of people would love to be in the situation that you're at right now. And with the relationship with the client and the ability to communicate what's going on. So um, I really appreciate that. And I hope you realize that not a lot of people have folks that are willing to listen. So
yeah, for sure.
you're in a good spot, man. You're in a good spot. I promise you're going to be
It's
okay.
not, it's not, no, not totally crazy. It's not just there's some small tweaks, but nothing major.
Yeah, I love it. All right, cool. I got a note here from Chris. He needs to jump off in 30 minutes and put some clothes on and stuff. I don't know if he's here. Okay, he's here. Okay. Chris, I think we'll bump you up here and then we'll get to the other folks just because this is your second week and I want to make sure that if you have to leave for work stuff, um, that we get you a chance here and then we'll go through the rest of the list in order. But yeah, Chris, if you want to share your screen, let's dive through it, buddy.
Morning, good evening. How are we?
Doing okay. I like that intro, buddy. So tell us about your
Sorry.
business.
So like Last time we hooked up, so obviously I make dog toys, leads, collars, all that type of stuff. Was running ads pretty much this time last year, had issues. That ad account got blocked. Remember, I sent a thing recently. So this is almost a virgin ad account. I've only had it going for 2, 3 weeks. And that's pretty much it. So I've got my old account, but for whatever, I can't get access. It's not happening. So this is fresh.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, um, there's a lot of great info in here, and I love that we've got the 4 PI set up so we can really read from left to right. Amount spent at the campaign level is where you're adjusting things. Within the campaigns is where the machine finds it can develop a consistent user experience. And then the frequency is what is the audience that is seeing that ad. CPM is the quality of their experience, and then we're getting into the efficiency of it. So with this
Yeah.
right away, we've got catalog sales. We've got what I'm assuming is a retargeting campaign based on the title. We have
Yeah.
our engagement, and then we've got a sales CBO. Okay,
Yeah.
so with
And my
that in
catalog
mind,
campaign, I'll say my catalog campaign, the numbers look a little bit shit because I pulled Marpipe in for a test.
okay,
And I used Marpipe on my last account and it killed it. But for some reason this time round it flopped. So
oh, yeah,
that's
the
why you
AOV
can
is
see.
shit. Yeah,
I don't know what happened.
I don't know either. Marpipe is great, but if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. I mean, there's only
Oh
so much you can do.
yeah,
Okay,
last account it was fucking phenomenal.
yeah.
Like, but I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, and if anybody wants a connection to Marpipe, by the way, let me know. I'm friends with the founder. Whenever I'm in New York, I go and sit in his office for at least a day or two every time, as my office. He lets me crash on his couch and knock out work, and he's a good dude. Marpipe, by the way, does creative treatments for catalog ads and a lot of other free stuff, which they're expanding, which is really great. So one question with the catalog, is that a prospecting or is that a retargeting? Like, what's the audience for your
Broad,
catalog?
broad. So
Broad. Okay.
pretty much
So your
everything I'm running apart from retarget is broad.
okay. So interesting. All right, got it. And then our definition of broad here. Let's get to the audience section. Okay, it's just Australia. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So let's get out of here. The reason I ask that is because I see a few conflicting things here. You have broad in the catalog. We have also broad in the CBO, and I'm assuming is that engagement also broad?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, gotcha. You're following the brand development stuff, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so
Okay.
here it's just pushing just to get a little bit more brand awareness,
Love it.
social proof, stuff like that.
Yep.
Engaging with our educational content, which isn't exactly sales content.
Sure. Totally, but
Yeah,
you're reaching new individuals and you're doing so for super cheap, which is also what we talk about in the How to Crush Facebook Ads on a Low Budget course. If anybody wants to see it in the course hub, it's free. Go
yeah.
check it out. Highly recommend it. Love that we're doing that. $4 CPMs, $5.31 cost per unique. That doesn't suck. Now, here's what I'm seeing overall. The engagement ABO is reaching a ton of new people for super cheap. It's $5 to reach 1,000 new people, 1,000 folks. I'm assuming a lot of those are probably new, relatively speaking. That's debatable, but hey, if the other campaigns are running at a 50, it has a lot of room to be retargeting and still be expanding the breadth of the business. Then we have the retargeting campaign, which is a low budget, relatively speaking, although the frequency and CPM isn't bad and the AOV is really high. So, one of the things that I like about that is the retargeting campaign that you have. Is it the same offer as basically your sales CBO, or is it like a higher price point offer?
No, so we don't have offers per se, man. Like I'm literally running stuff towards a store, not so much product specific.
Okay.
So like, let's say if we go into probably easiest way to break it down here is there, and yeah, you're seeing this, and
Yep.
so it's talking about the brand, not so
Got it.
much.
Love that. So the reason this is really important, talking about different ads attract different customers. People are always trying to hack CPA. I don't give a shit about the CPA. Look at the first one. You're seeing this $31 sale. The YPK9 started $29. It's $2 difference at the CPA level. but the GPT is almost twice as much.
Yeah.
The value to the business is 2x greater, even though the CPA is higher. And to really drive the point home, the buy our stuff ad is the most expensive one, and you still make $15 more per sale than on you're seeing this. Now, again,
Yeah.
$49 spent, the data set's not too big, but that's why I don't care about ROAS. I don't care about CPA as much. What matters is how much does it cost to buy money? Your exchange rate on money for the YPK9 started is essentially 2x, give or take, better than you. I realize it's probably about 87%. I'm not going to do the math here. It's not 100% better, but it's nice. I'll take that all day, right? We could do a lot worse and still be better off, right? So I like that a lot. The quality of the customer being purchased in that exchange is a lot better. So let's go back to the campaign level real quick. Here's why this really matters for me. I don't know that you need the sales CBO campaign. Here's why. Here's why. The AOV there is low. The advantage is reaching new people for cheaper. $55 for a cost per 1,000 account centers versus 62. Now, maybe that's all. The frequency is clearly higher, but the cost to reach individual people, the catalog and your brand development efforts, they are making people aware of what you're doing. And I'd argue that the advantage sales is having no trouble finding people that are interested in buying. The sales CBO is you're making half as much money there as you do on the other efforts.
And can I ask one question? Because when it comes to the sales CBO, just to I think I've got way too many ads running from everything you're saying. So I'm not sure if it's because of that the numbers look shitty, or if it's just the campaign itself is shit.
I love that context, Chris. And it's kind of, you're reading my notes of where I was going to go. I was like, I don't know that we need it. So let's go find out what it looks like. That's quite literally. But I want to read off, if you go back to the campaign level real quick.
Yeah.
What I'm looking at is CPA and GPT. If GPT is below average, that's really hard to improve. If my CPA is worse than average, that's also tough. Now, my cost per purchase is abnormally high because the engagement ABO, so it's kind of a bullshit number. Can we go ahead and just select the non-engagement campaigns and see if it'll refactor this total for us?
Yeah, no stress. Actually, I think...
Boom and boom, and then just select these. There's also, I see some other stuff active and not active, but let's go ahead and just filter by selection. So go to search and filter, that search bar right below where your mouse is. Yep, just hit search, and then filter by selected rows, which is, there you go, filter by row selection. Okay. So your actual cost per purchase, $34. Your GPT is $63. Here's my problem with the sales CBO. It's more expensive to make less money.
Yeah.
That's a bad investment. Now, we know that our blended cost is 34 and our blended GPT is 63. So now let's go see if there's something in that CBO that's actually worth keeping. To your point, Chris, there might be some shit in there that's just burning money. Let's go see if there's some shit in there we can get rid of. If we know it's 34 and 63 that we got to do better than.
Yeah, I turned off one of them.
Okay. Well, do me a favor, just sort by amount spent. Love it. Okay, let's just go across the board. The first one, more expensive than 34, below 63. The next one, same thing. The next one, the Chris, the dynamic. Now, that is an expensive ad. It also only has one sale, but the GPT doesn't suck, so we'll see. Across the board here, there's not a lot of things that I like. That being said, one of the things that we know also is that the most egregious offender also soaked up the most budget. And you said you just turned it off, and you just turned off the second one. So one of the things that we know is that of the $1,200, you just turned off 550 of it. That's essentially a 45% change. So we have there is a potential for all of these numbers to get a lot better because the shit is now gone. Now, we don't know but I would be keeping my eye on this stuff.
Do you know what's funny?
Yeah.
My best performing one is called Shitty Leads. You
Nice.
can keep
I
on saying
like
the word
that.
shit.
That's funny. So here's where I'd be going with it, Chris. If I want to make more money,
Yeah.
and here's what I'd be doing. Number one, I would draw kind of a line in the sand of like, at what spend level am I willing to make a judgment call? Right? Like
Yeah.
maybe it's $100, maybe it's 500 something. It's completely subjective. That is a Chris question. I can't tell you, but that's the vibe of the media buyer, right? There's a juice going on, and you're the only one that's really going to be able to understand that. It's a tolerance issue, right?
Yeah.
So, and now maybe it's like if it gets to $100 and it sucks, I'm going to kill it. There's no best or worst way of looking at the stuff here. But there's a lot of things here that I don't dislike. Okay. I will tell you the fake wins are the ones where the CPA is well below average, but the GPT is also. So the Insta Reel slip lead versus collar at a $15 cost per purchase, great. But the GPT is only $50. In order for that ad to have a GPT that is better than average, it needs to maintain that $15 CPA, but the AOV needs to go up by like $20.
Yeah.
Increasing the AOV of an ad is essentially fucking impossible. Reducing the CPA is totally in the cards. So this is what we would call sort of a fake win. Now, I don't hate the idea that you're making money for $15. There are far more egregious offenders in the account. But this is something that as we begin to prune out some of the ads, I'd keep my eye on this because it might end up raising the cost per purchase. It might also, the GPT might go up. Maybe there's some more valuable purchases are going to stop going to other ads and it's okay. But in my experience, AOVs don't move upwards nearly as fast as CPAs can come down. I would also say,
Yeah.
in the spots where my CPA is not great, but my GPT is phenomenal, those tend to stay okay. Higher AOVs tend to be more static than lower CPAs do. So those are what I would consider an optimizer. Like if I continue to optimize my account, this thing might stay good. But the thing that needs a $15 sale to be good enough, maybe it stays there, but I doubt it. Just in my experience. So with all this being said, let's get back to the campaign level of the account. Here's what I would be doing for next.
Let's ask one real quick
Sure,
question while
sure.
we're here. So we're talking about, all right, so you look at this, yeah, and I guess if we look at the brass level, that would be the best performer in terms of AOV solid,
Yeah,
GPT solid,
I like
but
it.
the spend's not. Would your
Yeah.
theory be now that we've killed some of these that this should be getting?
Yeah, here's what I will say. It's all about like how many cards are in the deck when you're shuffling things, right? There's a weighting that's going on.
Yeah.
You've essentially changed 45%. You've taken 45% of the confidence right out of the bottom. It's essentially like changing the budget by like 50%.
Yeah.
What we don't know is how those resources are going to be reallocated now that you've taken the great white shark out of the backyard pool. What's going to rise to the top? We have no idea. Odds are, I'm sorry to say, odds are it's not going to stay at like a 725. Maybe it does.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the greatest thing ever, in which case, man, it'll take you to $1 million. I doubt it. But hey, look, I've seen it happen before. It could possibly 0.05% of accounts. You just run across this thing that's just like, oh my God. And that's great.
Yeah.
I doubt it. But as long as it's running like this, happy days. It's checking the box of below average CPA and above average GPT. And what I'm really concerned about is it's not for this campaign. It's for the whole account. So if we go back to the campaign level, this is what I really care about. What I would be doing is I would begin to start shifting my budget from the sales CBO to the catalog.
Yeah.
Maybe it's as simple as $5 a day or something like that, right? Small changes. But what I'm doing is I'm changing my investment profile from ads that aren't good enough to ads that are better than average. I'm changing, it's basically a $10 swing every day. In addition to that, I might take $10 a day out of the sales CBO and throw 5 into the retarget, 5 into the catalog. That money is better spent for me. The cost per 1,000 account centers is cheaper. The CPA is cheaper. The GPT is higher. The AOV is higher. I understand a retargeting campaign might not be as incremental, but it's a better than 2-to-1 gap. $90 GPT to 45. It's essentially, it's not quite 2-to-1. It's a little bit better than that. So if half of those sales would have happened anyway, it's still better.
Yeah.
That is a pretty big fucking safety net to spend into.
Yeah.
So for me, what I would do is maybe I would make that change. Maybe, once today. I might do that Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'm going to do it in small increments. While that's happening, I'm going to also begin to optimize that sales CBO campaign. And all I'm doing is I'm being a better investment banker while also optimizing my ads. I would not go ahead and just start launching a bunch of ads into the sales CBO because you don't even know how the ads you have are going to behave.
Yeah.
You basically just took out the big great white shark in the backyard pool. You have no fucking clue how all the remoras are going to react. So adding in new stuff only adds more chaos. But the simplest way for you to make more money is stop spending it where you have the least return. And we know that the sales, that the catalog and the retargeting campaign both have the opportunity of spending more money because the frequency on the retargeting isn't even close to something that would give me any red flags.
Can I jump in there on the adding more confusion, like adding more to it? Because I know, adding new ads is hard, but I guess my question or lead into this is, so starting this Sunday, we'll start running Black Friday ads.
Sure.
And it's like, fuck. So where do I put those? How do I place those?
I mean, you can put them into your sales CBO. I will tell you this: the best ads during for probably the better part of a decade now. When we come back in January and see what were the best ads we had in Black Friday, none of them were the ones that said Black Friday.
Okay.
Overwhelmingly, you're going to find that Black Friday ads, sales promotion ads, only work on two sides. Either A, you're pushing the tremendous discounts. You're getting a whole bunch of really shit customers who only buy from you because of price point, which destroys your LTV. Or your Black Friday is a more costly bundle. You are acquiring better customers at a discount, in which case that could crush. If you had a Black Friday offer that was a $200 offer, I would do that all day. Because your average order value right now is $100. I would be happy to run a Black Friday that's at $200. I could spend $100 more per sale than I currently am. And if my AOV is $101.86 higher, it's easy money. I would do that every day. And because those people spent more money with you, the propensity for those folks to come back and buy from you again if the product isn't shit is higher.
Yeah.
That is 100% worth my time and effort. And if I had that offer, I might take $20 a day out of the sales CBO and launch that thing at $10 a day and just let it scale up. But for me, what I want to do is divest from the thing that is clearly the biggest liability to my growth. And I want to invest more where it's clear that I have a better advantage. And it is completely possible for my catalog to absorb all of that budget, or my retargeting to scale up as well, especially with the engagement continuing to grow.
Yeah. No, I'm with you 100%. Yeah, and my retarget is probably, it's a slightly broader retarget. So if you have a look here, where are we?
Yeah, so this is big. This is an audience that has a ton of potential. This is not a small audience. It's one that can scale. And more important to me right now is this is an audience that, if you go back to the performance, isn't showing me that on a day-by-day frequency, if you break it down by day, there's nothing going on here that says we're at any sort of limit. It's actually the highest in the user funnel of any of the stuff that you've got. Like you could probably double that budget
Yeah.
and you'd still have room. So this is where we could begin to re strategize our investment to invest more money where we get a better performance. And doing that just right away is going to do wonders for the bank account and make the job easier. And if you just end up having a retargeting campaign of emotional hits with a catalog sales campaign and organic content that people enjoy, that's a very sustainable environment.
Yeah. I'm with you. It sounds good. I'm just upset though. I was very proud of my Black Friday ads. I even shared them in the group. You know, I went all out of my creative, bro.
Hey, look, it might be good. I mean, I will say this. I once had a Black Friday ad that crushed. It did so well. We ran it until May on connected TV. Like we ran
Yeah.
it on like Roku and stuff like that. And our Black Friday sale ran basically until then. People were like, "Oh, they left this Black Friday sale open." I'm like, "Oh, oh, pay me twice as much. My bad." And that thing kept running for months and months and months. So you might very well have a win on your hands.
Yeah.
So don't get too down on yourself with taking shots. It's a numbers game. But hey, look, man, if it crushes, that's fantastic. And to be fair, it doesn't have to do a lot to get better than what you currently have, because what you currently have ain't great in that effort. But the other stuff, the catalogs and the retargeting, is crushing. And that's where I'd be focusing my money, man.
I was gonna hope and pray that Jelly Roll post, because I was on his vlog and all that type of stuff. So
Nice.
if that goes off, then yeah, that's next level.
Next level, man. Well, congratulations on all of that, dude. And I'll let you go. I know you got to be doing some stuff, but thank you very much,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks. Sorry everyone for queue jumping and all those things. And yeah, that's it. Thanks,
Yeah,
bro.
love it. Awesome. Okay. Well, with that being said, let's get to Aaron.
Hey, what's up, bro? Can you hear me?
I can. Let's bring you on up, buddy. Sorry,
Sure. All right.
my baby monitor here just stopped like getting signal, so I just gotta
How
I'm
many kids you
distracted
got?
for it. One with another one coming literally any day.
Wow, that's just like me.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, I got my daughter, and then daughter number two is like 2 or 3 months out.
Gotcha. Yeah, my wife, like her due date is like 6 days from now.
Oh shit.
So it could be literally just any moment.
I hope she doesn't give birth during the call. That wouldn't be great.
That, I mean, I'm sure the labor would probably take more than this, although I'm sure she would be stoked if it was done by the time this call was over. I
Okay.
would, yeah.
Let me give you some context, like background of the biz. I kind of
Okay.
need a little bit of, ad advice, but also mainly just kind of like business advice and testing advice. So I have a jewelry brand, and I've kind of set up the back end of the business. It's pretty nice in the sense that I can basically source any type of jewelry, any design, any product. The only thing is it's made to order. So
Got it.
it takes 2 to 3 weeks to get to the customer. So right off the bat, I have that slight hindrance in conversion because I won't be able to get it to people, in 2 or 3 days.
Sure.
But the upside to that is I can take assets from my different manufacturers where they take videos and images of $5,000 rings or necklaces and use that and then sell it as like a synthetic product. So like instead of it being solid gold, it's gold plated, or instead of it being a natural diamond, it's a synthetic one. So instead of buying something for 5,000, you can buy it for 100 or 200. So my question is I've been going all over the place. I've been a part of different groups, definitely the ones that say pump out 1,000 creatives a month. And so with jewelry specifically, it's kind of different in the sense that like the design of the jewelry itself is mostly the creative. So it's like it's not like I'm always hitting like these different types of ads for all the different angles and avatars. It's like a lot of times some of the best I've talked with like people who own different jewelry companies and different agencies that solely do, creative for jewelry. And they're like, honestly, our best selling ads are like white background, statics, or just like a 360 rotating video, maybe.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to figure out, like how do I test to find winners? Because I haven't found a consistent winner yet. What's the best way of going about testing a lot of products, but doing it profitably because I just don't want to like, fart out spend. I've had days
Sure.
where make like 1,000, but then some days where it spends 500 gets nothing. I tried
Sure.
to do catalog ads, spent $300 on those. They did terrible. I haven't used Marpipe yet. I was interested in checking them out. I have a call with the guy tomorrow
Okay.
to maybe get signed up. But like I'm just in like the strategy phase. I would love it to have only 5 ads and make 100K a month. That'd be amazing.
Sure.
And then just have a foundation where I have profit and then just reinvest all the profit back into testing to find more winners. Because again, like I have like an infinity amount of like products that I could generate.
Sure.
So I know that was a lot, but I hope that kind of gives a picture.
No, that absolutely paints a picture, and I appreciate it. And this is, the problems of abundance when it comes to product. And I will say this, this is often a very common thing also for print on demand folks who essentially have an unlimited, right?
Right.
There are three things that I think we need to approach with this. Number one, um, if I have the white background stuff, you said the DPA didn't get you, the catalog ads didn't get you any sales. One of the things that I'd be very interested in, let me ask you this, are you making sales as a business outside of that?
Outside of just meta ads?
Yeah.
Not really. I mean, we sell a little bit on Amazon and Etsy,
Okay.
but it's like 80% Shopify.
Got it. So so Shopify is making sales. So you have some sales data.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I'd be doing is I would be cross-referencing conversion rate by landing page against what earns spend in the DPA amongst broad and amongst retargeting. So do me a favor, let's go to the DPA side of this. And this is a bit of product research. Now go to breakdown. And here, let's scroll all the way down, all the way down. And what we want is, sorry, go to delivery. And then all the way down, product ID. Awesome. Now, what we're going to see here is hit the amount spent for me. What you're going to see, and this is going to be ugly here, and you could export this later, which might help,
Mm-hmm.
is you be able to see what's earning spend.
Mm-hmm.
And what matters to me, we have this Marindor earned basically 1 out of every $6.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if let's say your website has a conversion rate of 2%, and let's say the conversion rate on this product is 0.05, we got to get it out of the catalog. What I want to do is understand what products earn attention and have a above average conversion rate on my store. That way we can use DPA to accomplish market research, and then we can start to understand, okay, what products earn attention and convert well. Let me use that as the foundation of what I actually want to build ads to sell. The other way of doing this is, so I'd be focusing on that, and I do that for anybody with print on demand, anybody with massive catalogs, anybody with a problem of too many SKUs. How do we
What
figure out
about
what to sell?
what about flex ads? 'Cause I didn't even know that was a thing. Like before, what I did is I
Yeah,
literally created like 100 ad sets with like 2 ads in each one that were
sure.
just like white background, and that
Yeah,
was like stupid because it was spread too thin. Spending like 200
yeah.
bucks or $300 a day. So are
So
you
with
saying
that,
that doing catalogs is just the best to just like put it all in one thing? Eh,
so yeah, there's two things here. I would do catalogs to do the market research. I would do
Okay.
catalogs against broad. I might also do it against broad retargeting, like the folks that have been to my website or engaged in my socials, sort of like what we saw in the last audit.
Uh-huh.
That warm audience. Are there products that dominate spend in those audiences and have an above average conversion rate? If there are products that dominate spend and suck at the conversion rate level, we can remove them from our catalog. And one of the things I recommend people do is have a product set where it could be all products, but also say where something like custom label 0 equals true or false. And you can adjust dynamically what is eligible for that catalog through through a custom label. And that's something that Marpipe can help with. And I think Feedonomics can do it. There's a lot of tools that can help you manage your catalogs and these custom labels. I think you get 5 by default.
Okay.
The reason for that is if you take something out of your catalog, you can't edit a product set once it goes live. But what you can do is say this product set is everything where custom label 1 equals true. Awesome. Then let's say the Marindor sucks. You could remove the custom label 1, instead of being true, could say equals false. And now at midnight, it's pulled from your catalog. And so what you're
Oh, kind
doing
of
is
like a rule, kind of like a meta rule where it's like if it
yep.
spends over 50 and doesn't get a sale, then it pulls it.
Essentially, you're doing the exact same thing, but what you're doing is you're pruning your product catalog. Just ultimately have what earns spend be the thing that also has an above average conversion rate. From that point, we can then say this feels like, let's say it's the Perla. For the purpose of the conversation, it's the second product on the list. Okay, let's say it's the Perla. The Perla is it's getting 20% of budget, and its conversion rate's like 2.5, and it's making a sale every couple of days. Okay, I feel this one's got shot. That's what I could take some flex ads, a 322 style, and run it as some video and run it as some static. See, what can I do to get that across the finish line? And if I know that the Perla works both on prospecting and broad retargeting, I might do my creative testing just against that broad retargeting, because I know that audience is already looking to buy that product. Can I get those people across the finish line? And if I can, ultimately, I'm going to train some ads to be good at getting sales. And I can understand that this product can actually work with paid marketing. Then I'm training that thing to be better and better. And eventually, when I can't spend more there because I've maxed out my budget because my audience is only so big, that's when I can take that ad to full broad, and I can make that sort of my hero product. But right now, you kind of have paralysis by analysis in that there's so many options, the machine doesn't really know what to do. So in those cases, I'm willing to invest, and now it doesn't have to be nearly as much money. It last 30 days, 290, it could be 10 bucks a day. If you could afford 10 bucks a day to see ultimately where are the holes in your ship, and all you do is start plugging them up. It's hard to not make progress when you're constantly moving forward. Does that make sense?
Right, right. It's just like I'm getting worried because some of these, spent like 15, 60, and like didn't get sales. I mean, obviously I only ever let it run for like 2 days because it just,
Sure.
it tanked.
And so that's where I'd be okay with this being a smaller budget over a longer period of time.
Okay.
What I want is maybe that broad and maybe that broad retargeting. It could be 10 bucks a day per, whatever it is. What you want to know is what is earning spend. The signal here isn't volume of spend, did it make a sale? The signal here is the Marindor earned 4 times more than anything else. Does that convert? And if the answer is no, then it shouldn't be in your catalog. Now, I want you to preface this with, let's let the catalog spend some money before we make that decision, because you might have something where it converts 50% of the time because 2 people landed and 1 guy bought. But if you send another 1,000 people there, nobody buys. Let's let the ad spend deliver some volume. And so
Yeah,
what I
for
would do
sure.
is kind of have a map of all the products that I've got, conversion rate by product right now. Run up this test, see what earns spend, and does that landscape of the conversion rate by product change? And if we start to see some sales popping up on random things, what if it's the Enverel? Start selling, like, okay, the Enverel's starting selling. Oh, look, it's 2 $15 line items. That's 60 bucks. Like, okay, something's going on here. This is kind of working. If you start to remove the things that don't work, then you're going to be able to discover what does. And you're in a position where you don't already have a clearly defined hero product because of the nature of the business.
Hmm.
So in order for us to find what that is, this is the most cost-effective way of going about it. Now, in addition to that, there's no harm in posting organic content around all of the things that you think might work. So if there's maybe 10 or 15 items where you're like, this might do a good job, these are things that are selling, can I launch some Instagram reels around that product? Can I produce some video or something to just start to get some extra attention and momentum towards it? And
Yeah.
you're going to
So,
find that the things that do well organically there are also going to be things that perform well as ads.
okay, so here's my question, because you're the first person I've heard that like actually talks about how your organic, the Facebook and Instagram accounts tie into the algorithm like
Sure.
learning. So when I was at so some of my suppliers, like they have videos like this. I don't know if you can actually see it
Yeah, I can
play,
see it.
but
Yeah.
it's just simple like videos like HD just up close of them like holding the jewelry, shining it, and
Sure.
like So pretty much I have like 1,000 of these. And so like
Got
one
it.
of my goals was like, dude, what if I just upload like 10 of these a day to Reels, see
Love
which
it.
ones hit, and then maybe do your strategy where you run more traffic to it and then eventually turn it into an ad? Do you think that would
Yeah.
be a good idea to be
Yeah,
cost effective?
I would load 10 a day as a trial reel. And then, for instance, let's just take the first one here. 269 in views. Okay, so let's click on the first one.
Mhm.
3 likes. Let's see the next one. 24. Twice as many views, a lot more likes.
Mm-hmm.
This one, I don't remember the view count on this, but like it's these, some of these are much better than the others, right?
Right.
So you're going to begin to see what actually even earns attention. So you could do 5, you could do 10, you could do. I mean, I got a brand that I work with, and it's in the Pokemon card space, and they do giveaways. They're basically a lottery, and they're going to do fucking gangbusters numbers. But with this being said, what you're going to find as the trial reels, what happens is that shows it's only to people who aren't currently following you. So it's what is incremental. So you're not hitting your own audience with your own stuff and then basically getting a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Oh, you're talking about like that little trial feature, like when you go to
Yeah.
post it, it says like run as a test and it
Yep.
only shows it to non-followers.
Yep. So if you do that, following our how to crush Facebook ads on a low budget strategy, you could spend $10 a day there and $10 a day on the DPA broad and $10 a day at retargeting. If you got $1,000 over the next month, odds are, especially at kind of your price points, you'll at least break even, but you're going to do a lot better at understanding what your customers actually want. And I would prioritize that with that list of conversion rate by landing page. Just put the things that already convert as the first stuff you run. Because to be fair, you already have some information. You're not starting from absolute zero. So you essentially have a punch list in order of confidence. You can run that organically, and you can double check what works organically and what works on the site. Does that also earn spend on the catalogs? Because the truth is, you might have stuff that works organically, stuff that works on the site, but doesn't sell in a catalog ad. What you need to do is check all 3 of those boxes. And if that works, the likelihood of you being able to run more ads to sell that product is really high. Now,
Okay,
to be
quick question.
fair, maybe this thing that's got 525 views with the 24 likes, everybody loves it, but nobody buys it. You would
Right.
find, oh, it blows up on trial reels. The conversion on the webs, the trial reels is spend is through the roof. The DPA spend is through the roof. The conversion rate on the site is 0. Well, fuck it. That is a waste.
Right. So
And so what you're
what
going to do is you basically have these 3 checkpoints. Is it do A, B, and C? If it checks all 3 of those boxes, your likelihood of that thing being something that you could run ads to and scale is exponentially higher than just taking random shots in the dark.
Okay, so those 3 checkboxes are spend on catalog ads, spend on retargeting, and then organic views.
It would be, does it earn spend in the DPA, both or on broad and retargeting?
Okay.
Does it have an above average conversion rate on the landing page?
Okay.
And does it earn views in the trials? Or more importantly, does it earn engagements in reels? Like at 269 and 1 like or whatever, that's just a bummer. Now, maybe the 525 gets a ton of views, but no likes. For instance, the other one, 428, it got 428 views, but no likes. The other one had 525 views and 24 of them. Well, one of those earned views and engagements. So like there's an action rate implied by that, right? So
What
it earns attention and people engage. If it earns attention and people engage and the website converts better than other ones and it soaks up the budget in the DPA, there's worse things to be spending your money on to try to make a sale.
Okay, so what budget would you do for the organic side? Like, let's say I post 10 a day, that would not be hard, easy to
Yeah.
do.
I
If I
mean,
post 10
I
a day,
think,
how much budget do I like? Do I put that all in one campaign for the
yeah,
organic engagement?
I would be okay with you just pumping all of that stuff into one campaign with a daily budget, even if it's as little. I mean, the budget says whatever you can afford, but if it was as little as $10 a day and you just turn every ad off at $5, $20, whatever it is, whatever some line in the sand is for you to make a demarcation of success. For instance, on my Instagram, every post gets $35.
Okay.
And then
And
when
what
it
do
gets to
what
35 bucks, I go and take a look at, did it get me followers? And if it did, I might continue to promote that because I know that it's filling my funnel. If somebody's following me, odds are you've been to my website and my content is purely about my products, or for you, your content is all about rings and stuff and jewelry. For me, my content is me interviewing people talking about marketing. You are not following an account where the guy interviews strangers about marketing unless you want to know more about marketing. And you've probably been to my website. All I'm doing is filling my funnel with people that are interested in buying from me without ever selling to them.
Okay, so then what about ManyChat? I was going to ask you about that on the organic side. Do you think that'd be worth it? Like to,
I think it would. I don't hate the idea of the many chat. I think you're probably
do
gonna
you think
have to
it's
have
too
different
time
flows for every
consuming?
product.
Yeah, that's the thing though. So, I mean, do you think it's like worth it if I'm going to crank out 10 a day?
I think I would retroactively,
Do it, yeah, after I
yeah.
get some traction.
If something works as a trial, potentially you repost it again, but change the caption or something. Or like, do apply it to your winners.
Yeah.
You're gonna find, I'll bet you if you go through all your products, there's like 5 or 10% of the things that if we just check the boxes we talked about, you're gonna get some outliers. Run the many chat to those outliers. That's totally fine. I might
Okay.
even do a many chat attached to everything with one thing that's just like comment whatever the fuck for like 10% off, right? Your email capture flow.
ManyChat can do that. Like people, just like one, you comment anything and it works. It
Yeah,
kind
you
of like
could
sends
say
them all to the
anybody
same
that
thing.
comments with this keyword on any post.
Okay.
So if they I don't know, if they comment ring, I would probably be more specific than that or something because that's probably going to happen by random. But you could have somebody essentially opt in and be like, "Hey, thank you for your interest. By the way, do you want that 10%? What's your email address? Awesome. Here you go. Now you're just stacking email addresses, doing market research. You can sell via email while growing your actual follower account and doing market research and then selling to all the people that are interested and then seeing what actually works and then just amplifying that. Now you've got a great flywheel with which to grow. And I mean, that can be a lot of work. uh we lay it all out here, and if you need some help with that stuff, let me know. I'm glad to answer any questions, and ultimately if it's a bit much for you to take on, we've got people here that can help you.
Okay. Here's another quick question for you. So, I have basically one ad in my prospecting CBO. So I don't have retargeting set up. I probably should do that. Um, and it did good. It's still profitable. It's like one of the only ones that's like
Okay.
actually profitable. It was showing us something we have for a bundle. So it's
Got
like
it.
three products for 250.
Love it.
And I tried to duplicate it and give it like its own winning ad set. I call it like the champion ad set, and then it
Sure.
spent 260 and didn't get anything. But the CPM and cost per account, 1,000 accounts was lower, but it
Sure.
didn't get any sales. So
Yeah.
that kind of pissed me off. And then so I guess like for something like this, when I see like one that's actually doing decently well,
Yeah.
how do I increase? How do I give it more? Like I guess I'm just trying to know like the why behind. I kind of am curious or
Well, what you
explanation.
did was say this thing works, so I'm going to stop it and try to recreate it all over again. I would say, why did you duplicate it? And you'd be like, well, I want to isolate my winners, but why? It's already winning. You've already
Hmm.
solved the problem. So what you did is say, I invested $5,700 into trying to solve a problem. I did it. So now I'm going to start all over and hope I can do it again. Like, why? You've already done it. You
Okay.
basically added workload to try to get lucky twice when you were already making money.
Hmm.
And I tell people all the time, yes, the idea is to get winning ads, but like if you can increase the budget, the worst thing you could do is change anything.
Mm.
If you've
Okay.
already solved the problem, you have one job. Can I increase the budget?
Yeah.
If the answer is yes, the single worst thing you could do is change anything else.
Got it. I'll take that to heart. See, it's always harder when you have like a smaller budget
Sure.
and,
Yeah.
because you want to look at it day by day and make an adjustment because like
Yeah.
one day it makes two sales, next day it makes none. And then you're like, oh crap, I'm not profitable anymore. And
Yeah.
so I
And
think I just need to chill.
this is why I think getting the many chat going, getting your email marketing going, figuring out the organic, you can have so many projects that aren't, does this ad make a sale? And I would
Right.
challenge yourself, if you can, set a stopwatch for 1 hour. And that's the only amount of time you're allowed to spend inside the ad account every week. I guarantee you'll make more money.
Really.
If you hang out in a barber shop long enough, you're going to get a haircut. If you've already solved the problem of raising your budget, stop fucking it up. You've already won the game. Stop making it more difficult. You have more
Ouch.
important things to do.
That hurts, Charlie. That hurts, man. That's kind of effed up.
I mean, look, I'm going to be honest with you. It seems like you got a bit of a personality where you can take that feedback, and so I'm going to give it to you. Like,
Yeah, I did.
yeah,
That's the thing. It's like I'm doing too many things, and I get like so annoyed because it's like because I'm touching too many things at once. It's like I don't know if I let something run long enough to know if it would have worked or if I
sure.
wasted money
What
on
what
it.
I
And
would do honestly is I would just I would just keep anything on that's made more than one sale with a GPT that's positive, and you start
Mhm.
pruning out the shit that sucks and doing everything else that we talked about. Your
Okay,
number
so
one goal is, can my profitability on what I've already gotten lucky with fund all of the things that are going to help me build a foundation that I can scale?
yeah, that's basically what I'm looking for. I'm just trying to get that foundational profitability so I can invest into like trying the other ideas. Because like the other thing I haven't solidified yet is bundles versus like selling singularly.
Sure.
And if I could sell, one product at a time, it would make things really easy. I mean, selling the bundles is fine too. It's just like, there's so many things to possibly test. I just don't have the
Yeah.
budget to do it all at once. If I
Yeah.
had
And
like
here's the thing, you
50K to
don't need
spend,
to. You don't need to test it all. Like,
okay,
there's just I the foundation that will last. Your 10x task is figuring out how to talk to strangers for free. Then it's figuring out how to get the folks that have given you the ability to talk to them, how to get them to convert. If you've already figured out how to get strangers on an ad to buy, everything else is lower in the funnel than that. Just figure out those things. If you can figure out the organic, then your ads are going to work better anyway, because you're attracting a higher quality bit of attention. And if you can figure out how to improve your conversion rate, if your site-wide conversion rate is a 0.8 because 70% of your pages don't make sales at all, if you can improve that by 20%, essentially what you're doing is reducing the CPA on every ad by 20%, but it happens on every bit of traffic from any source. The more you change your ads, the more difficult improving the business is going to be,
hmm,
because
that's a
you're
good
not
point.
focused on trying to keep this as an account as a media buyer. You're trying to make money. Your entire objective is, how do I not touch the ad account other than to increase the budget? That's the problem you want to solve, because otherwise, the only solution you have is, how do I continue making the rest of the business more difficult to manage so that I can maintain what I already have? And that is a fucking nightmare.
Okay, so how many campaigns am I running here? So I have keep the CBO
I
and
would,
then
yeah. So you
and then
basically have a prospecting CBO and you have a market research DPA. And then I might have the go through the how to crush Facebook ads on a low budget course that we have in the course hub,
uh-huh.
and in the Disruptor Academy, the course hub, and just start to apply that stuff.
Okay,
Um,
and broad retargeting would be its own campaign as well, a catalog retargeting or whatever.
no, that would be inside your catalog. It would just be a second ad set.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then you're
Um,
just trying to learn what works. And then you try to check those boxes. And what you're really trying to do is find, is there one thing that I can sell at a profit? All you really care about is, what can I invest in to spend more money? It is not, how
okay,
do I sell all the products? You don't have a warehouse full of inventory you have to clear.
right.
So your number one problem is, how do I spend money to make money? If you've
Okay,
solved
so
that problem, the single worst thing you could do is undo it.
okay, so here's last question is, for example, that one that's been profitable with the bundle offer.
Sure.
I literally just made like a compilation of products from my manufacturers and just like put it in Canva. I mean, like it's
Cool.
terrible, but I mean, but
Yeah.
like all that matter again, like mainly the things that
It
matter
makes money.
are, yeah. So should I just create maybe like 3 or 4 variations of this with different footage
No, you're already making money. You have more
so
important things to do than to make it more difficult to make money.
so don't touch this ad, just increase budget.
You've already won the game. Stop trying to hurt yourself. Focus on more important things. The
Like
more
finding
ads
more
you
winners.
launch, the dumber the machine is, and you've already got the win.
So just basically do the catalogs, find like those
Yeah.
three
The
points
worst
of
thing you could do right now is launch new ads inside this campaign.
got it.
Yeah. You already have the win. So
Okay. So
don't get in your own way. Let me put it to you this way. The worst thing you could do is build an individual ad right now. There's so much more important stuff in your business, and you're already making money. The reason you're not profitable is because you spend so much time and effort trying to invest in more places that aren't making money. You're spending the majority of your time and effort doing things that are guaranteed to lose you money, and doing less things to build on what's actually working.
Yeah,
But
frick.
it makes sense because it sounds like you put in a lot of time and effort in trying to teach yourself what's going on. So there's no way you're going to be perfect right off the bat. And there's a lot of
Right.
conflicting advice. My opinion
Yes.
is that ultimately what you want to do is make money. You want to make
Hmm.
sales. If you can
Hmm.
already do that, don't push your agenda. The market's already telling you what to do.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Okay. All right. That's facts. Okay, cool.
All right.
Um, I'm gonna do everything you said. And when's this recording gonna be live? Because I'll have to re-listen to it.
We should probably have it in the community in the next 24 hours and then yeah.
Okay, awesome. Hey, Charlie, thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And
No.
thanks for just slapping my face
No problem,
over
man.
and
You,
over.
you
That felt
had the
good.
vibe where I felt comfortable just being honest with you.
I
Because,
don't even
like,
have a beard, so I mean that hurt, you know?
fair enough, there is a little bit of padding here.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
cool.
all
Thanks, man.
right,
Appreciate
buddy.
it.
Well, thank you so much, dude. All right, let's get to Steven. And then we got one more, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, we got Steven and then we got Lorenzo. All right, Steven.
Professor Charlie T. Here to learn, buddy.
I love it, man. Well, let's open up the ad account and tell me a little bit about the business, buddy. Let's unpack the landscape and then start stacking some paper.
Brick and mortar business, New York City based, New York
Yeah.
State audience. We draw from New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We see people come from Florida, California, Chicago, Georgia. Um, so we're a local audience. This is kind of a general overview here. I would say our average order value it's going up. We've been increasing our prices,
Nice.
and it's probably about 225 right now. We're seeing some $300 and $400 tickets now, and as low as one. I think the lowest is about 157. We're probably spending
Okay.
about between 25 and 5K a week, and it's inconsistent. Our business is seasonal, so we see ups and downs during certain points of the year, but we're fluctuating right now, and probably the past 12 months between 12K and 5 and 12K a week, depending on the season in
Okay.
revenue.
Gotcha. All right. So there's a couple things here. Let's just take in the dashboard. Let's just clean up some of our columns. And while we do that, let's yeah, I would love to. I love you have the Dara Barry. Nice. I feel like I know who
Yeah,
Dara and Barry are. Those are some
yeah,
good people.
they had a I don't know, something was really good, and this has always been confusing to me, and they told a way that they set it up, and it's been very helpful. So
Awesome.
I've adjusted it since then, but they're good people.
Oh yeah, no, they are great people. I really enjoy what they do. Give me one second. I'm getting
Yeah, go
knocked on
ahead.
the door. One sec.
Bless her heart.
Yeah. All right. So getting back to this. Yeah, Barry and Dara are great people. They're good friends of mine, and they're New York natives. Every time I'm in the city, I get to see them.
Oh, good.
Maybe one or the other, but anyway, Barry brought me some very fancy sushi when last time I was in there. So it was my first time
Oh,
getting
nice. Where'd you go?
omakase or whatever.
Nobu? Oh, no, where'd you go? Nobu?
No, I live on 14th at 8th, and so there's
Oh,
a
okay.
spot that's like 2 blocks away. Um,
Yeah, there's a lot of good sushi in New York.
incredible. Anyway, back to the business at hand. Let's just clear the deck here, or we can, yeah, we can clear out some of what they have, but I think we just get rid of everything. Let's just set up a
No,
profit
this is a
KPI.
separate one. This is kind of I've got multiple views, so
Okay,
we can
gotcha.
this
I
is
love it. So let's just set up a simple 4PI: spend, frequency, CPM. Sorry, it's spent, unfortunately, which is so dumb. Amount spent, then frequency, and then CPM.
dude, that's how
Uh,
it was set up.
yeah, well, there's a couple other random things in there. Yeah, I know we were close. Uh,
I was following along. So go
I
ahead. What
like it.
else?
I like it. Well, I think it was the in-app purchases, web purchases, offline. It got a little confusing. So let's
Yeah,
go
yeah.
purchase. All right, and let's get the cost there at the bottom.
We're gonna go down here.
Purchases, yep. And then there's total value and cost. So you just not want the cost. Just click that little check mark on purchases and then cost.
Oh, I see.
Boom.
Okay.
There you go. Awesome. And
Okay.
then let's go ahead and get GPT and AOV in here. I don't know if you
I
have
don't have
GPT.
GPT. I
Let's
do
go ahead and
not.
create GPT.
Okay, custom.
Yep, custom, create custom metric. And then we want in the combined metrics, there we go, in the spot right there, average. There we go, average purchase conversion value. Boom, click that. And then minus, just type in purchase. Remember, if you do the cost per, it's going to be a fucking nightmare. Scroll down here just a little bit, and the cost per purchase will be like the next one. Boom, there we go. Yeah. And then let's make that currency in the format instead of numeric. Yeah. And again, this is basically profitability per sale, which is really important. And if you'd asked me a year and a half ago, I would have said, well, it's about volume too. And what I've realized is just whatever sells, whatever gets the most profit is what you want to go for. So let's go ahead and hit create metric. Yeah, GPT, love it. And let's just throw in AOV here too, just to put some context into the game so we don't have to do the math in our head. You just type in average, and then there you go. Average purchases, conversion value. Got it. That one, boom, save. Love it. Okay. Now, with this, we got some context what's going on. We have a lot of things. I have 2 questions for you. Number 1, let's maybe break this down to the last 30 days, actually, to start.
Okay, yeah, this is historical. I was just kind
Yeah.
of going back. Last 30 days, I have one campaign running. One campaign, one ad set.
Yeah, see, I mean, you got 2 in here, but yeah. Can you do me a favor
That's
and break
off,
down
though.
by week? Yeah, gotcha. I just want to see the context of what's going on in your ecosystem. So go to time and then week. So my first question to you is, are your promotions evergreen or are they?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Having known a little bit about your business, there's theater and some in-person stuff can sometimes change. So we always want to know and trying to figure this stuff out. Is it temporary or is it evergreen? With it being evergreen, then all of these trends really help for us to take a look at. Got it. And then it's also because it's sorted by amount spent. Can you do me a favor and just select the 2 campaigns that actually spent money?
Let's see.
So you have 1 campaign selected. Can we select the other one? Just on the far left, just check that box. Awesome. And then
This one?
search and filter by name. Can you click on that? Yep. And then filter by selected rows. It's at the very bottom.
Selected rows?
Yeah, filter by row selection. Man, each one of these names is different. Yep. You see, save searches.
Ah, okay.
There you go. Awesome. And now click where it says campaign, the name of the campaign. The campaign up and down. Yeah, click on that real quick. One more time. Now we have it in reverse chronological order. So we can understand basically the bottom is longest to go and the top is most recent. Oh, we got a baby Stern over here. I might have to run in and grab her in a second. Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, she's okay right now. We'll see. So this being said, we can kind of understand what's going on. The winner's max val was a lot cheaper on the CPM. And the GPT seemed to be pretty strong. And the consolidated seems to not be off to a great start, although it does look like the frequency is coming down a little bit. The CPMs are coming down a little bit. It seems like the market is basically, it's understanding who to show the ad to, which makes sense because you had something that was getting a lot of information. They launch a new thing, and it took a second to understand what's happening. Because now I have 2 questions here. First off, are the ads in the consolidated ones from the winner?
Yeah, I had one static ad that I've been using for 18 months that killed it. And that kind of it was a branded ad that died off and it started. And I was trying to find something to beat it or do as well, and I couldn't find anything. I'm not throwing a ton of ads at it, but a lot of this stuff is new. We do a lot of UGC. We interview our audience. We get parents and grandparents talking about the show. Yeah, we have a ton of content, a ton of great reviews and stuff. So
love that.
That's
okay.
We're not doing anything really professional. It's mostly just UGC, and then some ads.
UGC's professional, man. You don't sell yourself short. You're doing pretty good.
No, I know. Yeah, no, the organic stuff. The more polished it is, the less it seems to go. And we do a ton of organic content, and then we'll use what's successful organically and put it into an ad. So
I love that. Okay, so with that in mind, this is where I think I'd really be interested. Number one, the consolidated, you're hyper local, right? You're basically just New York.
Well, yeah, but we get people, and now we're going into the holidays. So people come to New York with their kids, and they'll go
Sure.
see a Broadway show one night, they'll come and see our
Sure.
show another night.
That makes sense.
So what I did is I recently tried to break it down to different, to Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, and it kind of killed it. I felt like I was kind of cannibalizing the audience, so I put them all. I've just been jerking the campaign around too much, trying to
I
figure
got
out
you.
this whole new Andromeda thing, like
Yeah.
your big debate with what's his name with, do I need
Jordan.
5,000 ads or just
Yeah.
3 ads that work?
Well, you have less than 10,000 ads. So according to Jordan, you'll never be able to take credit for somebody else's $100,000 ad account. So with all that being said,
But that's the frustration is you hear
yeah.
people, even Meta themselves are saying, that keep all in one can, and maybe that's for big, big money brands. So not for
Yeah,
small
well,
niche
I'll
businesses.
say this. Your definition of success isn't big enough that I'd be worried about getting people outside of Manhattan, honestly.
Yeah. We don't have a huge capacity. So if we can fill our theater every day, I'm happy.
Yeah, so for me, you don't need 10 sales, 20, 50, 100 sales a day. Right? And you're definitely not getting that from the system. Like even when the stuff was going well, it was like 10 sales a day max, 5 sales a day max from the ads.
Yeah, we
Maybe
have
20.
Analytics. We do a lot of first party analytics. So
Yeah, but
here's
I'm just saying from the ad account itself, like by
Oh
ad,
yeah.
you're never getting more than that. So the point is,
No.
if 10 sales a day is enough, an island with 1 million people on it is probably a decent opportunity for me to make money with.
6 million.
6 million. Well, 6 million people on the island of Manhattan.
Absolutely, probably more
Yeah.
by now.
Okay. Yeah,
That's why
last time I was
Mondani
in
won.
town-
He's trying to find free apartments for all of them.
Oh, there you go. I mean, there's a lot of empty buildings. At
Yeah,
my
that's
place
true.
in Chelsea, there's like 2 or 3 of them.
Oh, yeah.
I did a bike from the High Line at 14th and 10, all the way down to Battery Park, over to Brooklyn to see Barry, and then back over to Manhattan to the to Central Park, and then up to the top left corner to the Hudson
Wow. Good for you,
restaurant, and
man.
then back down. I put one of them
On a-
city bikes through the fucking
on
ring.
on a city bike.
Oh yeah, the electric
Nice.
assist city bike.
I ride those things every day. I love
It's
it, man.
fantastic. Highly recommend. Anyway, back to the point at hand. That's
So
a
where are
large
we
enough
going?
audience.
How can I make more money here, Charlie?
Yeah.
How can I get more
Here's
consistent
the thing.
sales?
That's a large enough audience. I don't care about trying to get bigger.
Okay.
There's enough there. Your definition of success versus the opportunity is so it's such a gap.
Okay.
I would be 100% fine focusing just on the island of Manhattan. I don't even need the bridge and
Okay.
tunnel crowd to make this work.
Okay.
With that in mind, I think Manhattan alone is perfectly fine. I think I would also potentially play into the broad retargeting side. I think in your consolidated effort, if you had the island of Manhattan and then broad retargeting, and I would let the broad retargeting be anywhere. I'd let that happen because maybe
What do you mean be anywhere?
Because there's such a travel. I might be
Yeah,
in
yeah.
I might be in LA looking at what I want to do when I'm in LA, in New York.
Yeah.
Right? We're bi-coastal. I'm going to try to get the fam there in March when we come back in.
You're
I'm
welcome.
looking at
Let me
stuff.
know.
Yeah, I'm following things in New York City. I'm looking around at things. For broad retargeting, I'm okay with that audience being larger, right?
Now, my
America.
only concern though is this isn't a Broadway show. It's an off-Broadway show.
Yeah,
So it's
so the
not
people
Lion
that have
King. It's
been to
not.
your website or engaged
Yeah.
with your social media accounts enough
Yeah.
that the machine thinks it should see a conversion ad, it's not going to be high. There's not a lot of people
Okay.
there,
Okay.
but it's going to be a warm audience. So if we can let your organic that you say does very well, and maybe
Yeah.
even you throw a little bit of bucks behind it to improve it, if your organic is doing a good job.
What do you mean? What do you mean throw money behind it? Put it in ads?
Yeah, you could put some engagement dollars behind some of the organic if you want to. There's
Well,
a
that's
whole
my
approach.
question.
Yeah.
My thing is trying to get new. I want to stay on top of new customers because I don't
Yeah.
want to keep retargeting my. We
So
don't
with
have
that-
a lot of
Yeah, with that in
recurring.
mind, the course video that we have in the Disruptor Academy of the How to Crush Facebook Ads on a Low Budget
Yeah.
could be phenomenal for 10, $20 a day.
So you're saying a traffic awareness engagement? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, take a look at the course because there's a lot more that we can cover in like 5 minutes here.
Okay,
That's
good.
in the
Okay,
course.
that's one of my that's one of the
Yeah.
questions I've had. Is that's even worthwhile to do that? So good. I'll
I
check it
think
out.
it is for you.
Good.
I think it is for most brands. I think most brands spend way too much
On
time
a
trying to-
national scale or just in New York?
I don't hate it being national, to be honest with
Okay,
you.
I really want to get that audience because we see people come, they fly in, some people
Yeah, that's
fly
what
in
I'm
just
saying.
to see the
For
show.
your situation, while it's a local brick and mortar, you're in Manhattan with something that people who travel would care about.
Yeah, yeah.
There's
Okay,
a
good.
business that I work with. Well, actually, one of the coaches in the academy, Jared, works with a business that and you can see his calls. I think he had one yesterday. He's got one with a bridal. Now they're trying to get people to do testings for fittings on having that go to Hawaii. The woman's not going to fly from Hawaii to Ohio to try on a dress and make some things are more local. My wife with her Pilates business doesn't need to hit up people in Connecticut to come to LA. It's not going to happen.
Yep.
For you, you have a family event in a place where people travel to, and you specifically give them something to do. I'm okay with you pushing that out there on a few dollars, right? On the How to Crush Facebook Ads on a Low Budget. That's stuff.
Good.
Now, that being said, if we have the consolidated, and then we had another ad set in there that was just the broad retargeting, focusing just on the site traffic and the Instagram engagers over the last 30 days, something like that.
Okay, now
That
this is where I
is-
start. This is where I
Yeah.
start to get confused. So it's okay to have a second campaign or a second ad set. You said?
I would have it as a second ad set inside this campaign.
Okay,
And
but
then-
a different target.
That would be your broad retargeting versus your, Manhattan specific
And ABO or CBO?
CBO.
Okay, because it's CBO now. So
Yeah. I very,
Okay.
very rarely will ever suggest that anybody do an ABO.
let Meta spend. Well, that's the other thing too, because I
Yeah.
felt like when I was doing CBO, Meta was spending all the money on certain ads,
Sure.
and I guess that's good. If they think it's good, then don't worry
Yeah,
about it.
I mean, hey, look, if Meta spends a whole bunch of money on certain ads because it likes it and it's bad for your business, turn the ad off.
Okay.
Now,
Okay,
in this
but I guess I was
situation-
trying. I felt like it was starving other ads, and they weren't getting a start. They weren't getting
Absolutely.
any attention.
so in this situation with the two ad sets,
Yeah.
you might have a need for a min or a max on the spend per ad set, but I would just start it off right away just to see what works.
Min or max percentage or dollar amount?
Probably percentage. I mean, it depends.
Okay.
It could go either way. For you, what you're trying to do is just set up some guardrails.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it depends, if you're in the holiday season, maybe your broad retargeting needs to take up more of that budget. If it's July and it's not a whole lot of people trying to go to an island in the middle of the summer, there's opportunities where one might be better than the other, so that mix
Yeah.
might change.
Summer's tough for us. Summer,
Yeah,
August, September.
I'm sure it is.
tough.
We flee Manhattan during the summer. Like the last week we're allowed to be there. It's like the second week of June. And then my wife is like, no, I grew up here. We're not staying. We're not coming back.
It's
until September."
your wife's from New York.
She grew up in Long Island and Western
Okay, yeah.
Mass. So
Yeah, yeah.
she's,
I mean, it's just like they flip a switch after
Yeah.
4th of
I don't
July.
think, I don't think people realize it's an island with a bunch of tall, very reflective buildings in between a bunch of rivers. So it's super humid. It's a super humid mirror against the sun. That is tough, man. That is tough. And there's not a lot of wind to make it feel any better. Anyway, getting back to the account here. My point is, that is
Okay.
where I would start.
Good.
And I would try to see what works there. You might find that certain ads work in one better than the other. For me, taking what I already know works into that environment is going to let me know where I need to improve. My focus with that is then when I look at that environment, what is the thing that needs to get better? If I focus on improving my weak link, if I'm just constantly trying to get better at where I'm weak, saying one of the ad sets really doesn't do as well as the other one, that's where I'm going to test to try to improve things.
Okay.
If I can get better at the thing I do the worst,
Okay.
and I have a structure that allows me to make choices around investing in different types of attention, either people that live in Manhattan or people that have been engaging with me, I very much doubt those two are going to behave the exact same. So then the question is, well, what is most valuable for you to invest in? And what is the thing that you need to improve? So it might be the folks in Manhattan convert better. So then my creative testing is going to go to the broad retargeting to try to make it better at whatever the
Now,
need
wait,
is
just let
there.
me ask you, are you saying Broadway or broad targeting?
Broad retargeting. So
Yeah, broad retargeting. Okay.
yeah. So the account engagers and site traffic and all of that stuff. If that's the ad set that's not performing well, that's the ad set where, according to a 4PI analysis, I'm going to figure out what I need to do better. And I'm just going to try to do some creative testing there with a 322 flex ad to try to improve whatever my weakest link is so that I can raise
In the broad campaign.
and depending on whatever the weakness is.
Okay. Right.
Either it's my retargeting or it's my Manhattan. If my Manhattan is working well, then the retargeting needs the help. I'm not going to creative test where I'm winning.
So quickly, when you say Manhattan, because I'm doing New York State, which is a big
Sure.
state. So should I be doing a point like a 50-mile radius or an hour radius around Manhattan?
It's up to you. My whole point is like, you know your audience better than I do. But if there's
Yeah,
6
we've
million
got
people in Manhattan and your theater seats 30, 50, 100, like
220.
okay, 220 folks, and an island is 6 million plus
Yeah.
people traveling. Do I
Yeah.
really need to try to convince somebody to come in from fucking New Haven?
Well, I guess the thing is they do. We get people from Westchester, we
Sure.
get people from
Yeah.
Connecticut, we
And
get
those
people
are
from Jersey.
those people are probably engaging with your Instagram account. They're probably going to your website.
Yes,
They're probably checking
are.
you out.
Yes.
So your broad retargeting effort is your warm audience, is all those people.
Okay.
The purpose of the Manhattan one is just like, who is like, I don't know what to do today, but I'll hop on a fucking subway to go to someplace with my family, whatever it is. Like, one of those is going to be
That's
necessary.
kind of Google though. We see that like people looking for what, day of and stuff.
Exactly.
And then there's
so
some
that's
mommy
why,
blogs and things like that have us listed. So
yeah, so that's why we got to figure out. I would have those two audiences. One is the geo fence, one is the warm. And if I already
Okay.
have, there is absolutely a world where your organic content to your warm audience with ads is plenty to fill up 50 seats a day in addition to what you're running organically.
Well, we're getting a ton of organic
Yeah.
sales.
So,
People, that's, we know that for a fact.
so that in mind, I mean, that's the problem I want to solve. I want to get the folks
Okay.
who are already interested across the finish line before I start talking to strangers.
Yeah. Okay, good. Now, should I be segmenting my audience in terms of views and clicks and stuff like that? Or because I'm
I
not
don't
doing
care.
any audience segmentation.
Nah, it doesn't matter. Just the one
Okay.
that's the geo fence, the one that's the warm audience, call it a day.
Okay, good.
And
That's
then
what we've
just
been
do
doing.
creative testing in the audience that is not performing well and adjust your mins and maxes if needed to lean into the thing. And
Let me ask you a quick. Okay, good.
and then just focus on the easy win. Because your
Yeah.
definition of success is like, if you get 10s tickets, 20s tickets selling a day just on your Facebook ads, you're doing great.
Yeah.
Your
Well,
potential's already there.
We're gauging it from the revenue. We watch
Sure.
the sales, so we know when the sales are coming. I don't care where they come from. So, and a lot of times, the thing is, we're seeing 30 and 40-day clicks where they'll click on an ad a month or two ago, and then they'll purchase 30 or 40 days later. So, and then they might hit Google, and they might hit, the web page or a mommy blog.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying all of that stuff is all in your broad retargeting audience anyway.
Okay.
If you
Now you're saying broad. Are you saying I'm still confused? You're saying broad retargeting?
Yes.
So retargeting people that have already engaged with the content.
Exactly.
Broadly. Okay.
The site traffic, the Instagram, that whole crushing Facebook ads on a low budget, just follow that script. Follow that strategy.
Okay.
There is
I haven't seen that one yet.
absolutely a world where you don't need to do anything other than that.
Okay. Quick question about the Andromeda funnel in one campaign. So sometimes I don't know how an ad is performing in terms of revenue, but
give me 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, go.
Just woke up. Give me 1 second. Oh man, yeah, I appreciate it. Let's just wrap this part up here. I think this will be very good to just really define what these audiences are. Because you had a question
So
and then he was coming
yeah,
up.
yeah. I just had three quick questions. So one,
All right, let's
should I
do
be
it.
using these 30, 60, 90-day audiences and lookalikes or no?
I would not worry about the lookalike.
Okay.
For the broad retargeting, I would just choose the 30, 60, or 90 day. From what it sounds like, 60 days is probably enough based on the traffic
Okay.
you're talking to me about. The people are clicking 30, 40 days out. 60 should capture them all.
And I tested highest value and highest volume. Highest value and highest volume. Do you have a preference between that for a budget?
Volume.
Really?
Yeah, I mean,
My
value is
value,
going to
my
get you a better.
value, my value seemed to perform better. I
I
seem to
mean,
get higher
value.
tickets on that.
If you're trying to push for AOV, that's good. But
Okay.
you're probably more interested in consistent sales than
Yes.
inconsistent
Yes.
high value ones.
Okay. All right. That makes sense. And then one more question, just quickly. The meta funnel and the Andromeda, like there's different parts of the funnel they're showing in the same. Hi, how are you? In the funnel, so they're not converting, but they need to see that ad to get to the ads that are going to convert. How can I tell which ones are I need to? I don't want to turn them off if they're kind of doing a job that I'm not aware of. How do I kind of identify what might be?
Yeah, this is where we
Is
can
that
do. This is where the 4PI really helps us out.
okay?
And we have that in the Meta Blueprint course in the
Okay.
Academy, and
Okay.
really breaks it all down for you. And this way,
All right.
you can see what is doing its job well and what isn't. Meaning, this is a retargeting ad that is doing a good job, or this is a prospecting ad that is doing a good job. And if you have players on the team that are doing their job well, but ultimately their job isn't necessary, then you know to get rid of them. Does that make sense?
Yep. 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 All right. Great stuff, Charlie. I appreciate it. Thanks so
You're
much. Glad we
welcome.
finally were able to do this.
Me too, man. I think I got a request for Elmo's song over here, so we're gonna go have some fun.
Enjoy.
And I will talk to you all later. Thank you all so much. Can you say bye, Charlie? Here,
Charlie, bye-bye.
Can you say bye?
How old is she now? She's getting so
She's gonna
big,
be
Charlie.
2 in a month.
Holy cow, Charlie.
Yeah,
All right, well, you guys enjoy Elmo.
we will. All right. See
All
you
right,
later.
take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.